Hello again, everyone. Today we are going to motivate the subject of object-oriented programming. Um, Without going into the details of object-oriented, I wanted to show you some of the data structures that we used in previous lectures that were very helpful, but they still fall short if we try to do more interesting things. I'm going to give you an example. Suppose that we have an item that we buy from the grocery store, and this item, if you remember, um, the item had a description, and we wanted to also make sure that the item has a price, and I don't know, maybe like a barcode or something, barcode, and maybe I don't know, maybe this is enough for now. Um, okay, this is good enough. Now I want to code this item, and I want to make sure that I package it into one specific variable, and I want to work with that variable. So here is one of you guys can actually design this item to be this way. Some of you might decide to put the barcode first, and the barcode. Um, so suppose you are going to have your user enter these values, enter barcode, and so this is BC, stands for a barcode, and then we also go into prompt for the price, like that, and enter price, and we are going to also enter the description, input, enter description. Okay, well, good. Um, this is so when we have these things, one of you could choose to put the price here. Oops, could choose the price at the beginning, and maybe put the barcode second, and um, the description third. That's one way to construct an item. Some of you might do this. So this is item one, like that. Then this is item two. Some of you might choose to do the barcode first, description second, and the price third. Okay. Um, some of you might want to add um, another variable. So we have a description. We maybe expiration date. Expiration date. Enter expiration date, like that. Some of you might design a variable, um, um, design an item with these four different pieces of information embedded into the tuple that we are going to use to package all these four different pieces. Excuse me. So you could do it. You could use the barcode first, and you could I don't know. You could use the description. You could use the price, and then you put you could use the barcode, or the expiration date at the end. All right. Some of you might also choose to do this in a different implementation. Maybe some of you would want to put the description first, and none of these guys are wrong. All of what you've done here, none of this is wrong. And let me show you how challenging this is gonna be, even though it works. But let me now I want to work with with item number one. Item one. And I want to show you the challenge here that we might have If I want to work with item number 1, then I have to say I want the price. Well, I want the barcode, so the barcode is gonna be at index number 1 because it's the second element, and if I want to have the description, um, here the description would be item at index, oops, I apologize, index of a position 2, at index 2, item at index 2, because it's the third position. Okay, so this is one way to process or to work with item 1. Let's take a look at item number 4. Item 4. So I want to work with this guy, so I'm going to print item 4 like that. So now I want to process the same information here. I want to process the barcode, and I also want to process the description. So now if you take a look at this in item 4, so the barcode is also at index 1, right? But take a look at the description. The description here is at index 0, right? And here is at index 2. All right, and if you actually want to work with another item, so let's just work with the third item, item 3, like that, is going to be another story. So if I want to work with the barcode and the description, and to tell you the truth, by me looking at these indices, I don't even know what I'm looking for, even working with just 3 different variables here. So now all we care about, let me remind myself that the idea here is to get the barcode and to get the description, so we are absolutely sure what we're doing. So okay, now I want you to give me item 3's barcode and item 3's description. So item 3 here, where is the barcode? The barcode here is at index 0. Okay, and the description is at what index here? Description is in the first index. So as you can see, let's print this first, okay? And let's see what sort of, if we're gonna get the same data or not, and whether we made a mistake or not. Just for the sake of verification, we're gonna enter the barcode 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, like that. The price, we're gonna do like, I don't know, $2.99. Oh, sounds good. The description is potato chips, my favorite. Expiration date, I don't know, we can say May 15, 2020, like that. And it seems like we already made, yes, we already made a mistake because I was a little sloppy with the items. So this is item 3 and this is item 1, so my apology for that. I'm gonna run this one more time. Okay, it seems, do we have anything else? Do we, oh yes, this is getting very challenging now, having to work with these things. But now before I actually work with item 3, I want to make sure that the description is at index 1. So this is looking good, and I'm gonna run this one more time. Okay, so now the barcode is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, and now the price, say we talked about $2.99, the description of potato chips, and we said that the expiration is May 15th, 2020. Okay, so we were successful to process every item in the same way we captured the information. However, look how much much pain this is to be able to shuffle the indices, and whether these different tuples structured in a way that makes my head hurts. I already made mistakes here. I already made a mistake here. I've forgotten, and it seems like it really depends on the kind of implementation that you choose to do. None of this is wrong, by the way. All of these things are actually absolutely valid, but it seems like it's a very complex thing that I have to remember how I implemented one item and how I implement it in what way. And sometimes I wake up in the morning and I feel like I should be putting the barcode before the description. In another day, I would like to put the description before the barcode. And then if you also work with somebody on a project and you're trying to collaborate, you're trying to merge your code, and she or he work with an item with 4 different pieces, and you're working with your item in 3 different pieces, that's a serious problem. And then your understanding of where the items and where the elements have been stored is absolutely crucial, but will be very different from her own understanding, because she'll put things in a very different order. And as you can see, we ended up shuffling the barcode here. We pushed it back here. We ended up using an index here that was not available in these two guys. So this is a mess. This is something that would cause anybody so many confusion. And we're only talking about a single entity in your program. Suppose your program is dealing not only with items, suppose your program is dealing with items, with machines, um, um, with much more complex prices, dealing with locations, dealing with individuals, dealing with type of people who are purchasing, dealing with different types of discounts. All of these guys are going to be very complex, and you're gonna have to remember the order of the bits of information that you stored. And by the time you do this today and then you come back tomorrow, you won't be able to work with this. And then your a project mate or your teammate who's working with your code, hoping to integrate these different pieces of items into her project or his project, they find it impossible because they have to follow your own standards. Maybe they disagree the way that you coded things. Maybe in their opinion they should have the description before the barcode. In your opinion, you should have the barcode before the description. However, Python does not tell you what you're doing is wrong. Python doesn't give you any guidelines, and that will cause a lot of frustration between you and your teammate, because the information is so visible to you and you have to remember it. And then by your memory and your remembrance, you will be able to decide, okay, well, this one here was the first index, this one here was the second index, this one here was the third index, and so on and so forth. That causes a lot of frustration. Believe me, when I say causes a lot of frustration, some things better be hidden. This thing here better be hidden, because as soon as you see that somebody has the order in one way that is very different from how you expected, and then they also added more information than what you were expecting, they're causing you a great deal of agony. So how do we handle this? Is there any way that Python can offer me hide all these details where I don't even have to care about the order of the elements? All I want to say is I want the price from this item. I don't care if it's in the first position. I don't care if it's in the second position. I don't care if it's in the zero index. I don't care about these things. More important than anything else, I want my data. I don't care how you implemented it. If you can hide this information from me, I will be in heaven, because really, really, the way that I'm looking at your code is stressing me out. So there is indeed something that Python offers. And I want to tell you, it's not only Python, as a matter of fact, it's the way object-oriented is designed. Object-oriented is designed in a way that you can hide information. Such information like this would be really annoying, would be really frustrating, will cause you a great deal of struggle if you have to work with this bare information and you have to remember which index and the order of things and the different ways of how people think. Is there a way that I can just say, I want to create an item. I want to create an item, and from this item, I want I oops I want to get the price, and I want to get the description. And even if you added, say, if your teammate added the expiration date, okay, and this is something that you don't approve or you don't care about, and all you want is the item and the price and the barcode, and you don't want the description, you don't want the expiration, even if you don't want that, there is a way that you can indeed have some sort of a data structure that will hide all these details from you, and will only give you exactly the kind of knowledge that you want. The last thing that I want to get the bar code, and whether here's the interesting part, whether you have an expiration or really anything else. I don't care if I don't want it. I don't care if I don't want it. Just hide this information from me, and I want to work with your data structure that we haven't called it of any specific name yet. I just want to work with this data structure in the most convenient way possible, so that I don't have to remember the order. And just by looking at this ugly picture here, even though it was very helpful because we did not need to declare so many different variables, we only packaged them in one type of variable. But it's still so much stress that I really have to remember the order and how we implemented things. I don't know what's happening. So here's what I want. So suppose that I'm gonna tell you exactly how I would expect to receive the information from your grocery item. So this is your grocery item, okay? And I want your grocery item to have some sort of a device that gives me, when I say get me the price, I will be getting the price of $2.99. Okay, and I also want another device that when I say give me the description, I will be getting potato chips. I don't know if I can spell it today. Potato chips. Apparently I didn't spell it correctly earlier. Doesn't matter. I know you will forgive me. Just let's focus on this very specific concept here, because it's so important. And as you can see, none of what I just said here. This is my dream world now. I want to say, here is my grocery item. Get me the price, for crying out loud, and I'm gonna be getting the $2.99. Get me the description of this item here, and then I will be getting that description. If I say that's all I care about, then that's all I care about. If I want to say get me also, say what else did we say? Suppose your teammate really likes her expiration date and she has some really great ideas, and whether you want to use these ideas or not in your program, she still wants to work with the expiration in her program, but you still have to exchange the code. Yeah, so what? What would be so difficult if she implements her expiration date, if she implements her grocery item with to include the expiration date, and then you don't have to worry about it. And then in her program she can say get me the expiration date, and then she will be getting May 15th, 2020, like that. And if you decide down the road, maybe her idea was really great, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what an idiot. I wish I listened to my teammate. It is so important to understand if you're doing some advanced programming about storage and about what else, about the stock in your storage, and then you want to make sure that you want to replenish your storage by your by the items that are very close to by new items, because the items that are going to expire, you're gonna get rid of them soon. Then this field here is gonna become very handy. So whether you agree or disagree with your teammate, and you think his idea is really great or not, you're still gonna be able to work with something like that grocery item. You still don't have to worry about this way of the way that this very kind of overwhelming looking, because I see the information. But what I really want, this is how I described it in a way, but what I really want here is to say, get description like that, like this, for this item. And if I'm able to do something like that without having to specify the index here or there, and it doesn't matter if this was your code or was her code, as long as you guys agree that you have a description and you have a price and you have a barcode, that's all that matters. Whether she adds this expiration or not, that's gonna be a different story. So when you call this device here and you say, give me the description, you're gonna get the potato chips. You're gonna get something like that. Potato, I don't know how to spell it. Potato chips, like that. All right, and now ideally also, if you decide down the road you really want to utilize the expiration date, all you need to do is to use the function that she also designed to get the expiration date, to expose this expiration date that you were so much in disagreement with. Now you find it really handy. So you say get expiration date, like that, and this is going to give you the May 15th. I'm going to go here, May 15th, 2020, like that. And clearly, if you look at a picture like this is going to be a much easier way to deal with this than dealing with the hectic looking tuples and having to worry about the indices and having to worry about your own implementation versus your own classmate's implementation or teammate's implementation. None of these issues are going to be issues when you don't see what's going on inside this data structure here that we have not called it a name yet. Okay, and then all you have to say is just give me the expiration date, give me this, without having to worry about these things. And also, we didn't really talk about the possibilities of modifying values. Suppose that you want to work with a description in a way. So now, if you want to work with this item description, excuse me, you're gonna have to work with this item here. And you are going to say, instead of the description, you want to add something a little bit more to the description that was not stated in the previous description. So say this item here was, the description was on item 1 at index 012. So here the description, like that. So now suppose that this item here used to be initialized by potato chips that we entered from the keyboard here. And then you realized you made a mistake like I did, and you wanted to change that description. And more important, you also wanted to maybe say with flavor. So you would say sea salt and vinegar. Sea salt with sea salt. Just one specific thing that is just with sea salt, like that. And then then you basically have also wanted to fix that little issue here. So as you can see, you still have to work. You still have to work with the indices here. There's no other way around it. And if you want to work with item number 4, you're gonna have to do the same thing. So item number 4 here has a description at index 0. So now what I need to do is to switch here from index 2 to index 0, and then I have to maybe change my potato chips here into barbecue flavor, BBQ flavor, like that. And it's, again, every time you take a look at this picture here and you remember how your teammate did her implementation in a way that you completely disagreed with, you cannot help but to feel so frustrated. But here's something that we can do that will also be so much better than this much stressful looking way. Would it be so cool if I just say, I want from this item here, I want to change like that. I want to set the description to be like something like that, versus the previous value. Once you enter the new value, then it overrides the previous value. Wouldn't it be really nice if you really don't have to worry about what index this guy was implemented, your classmate or your teammate implemented her grocery item versus your own implementation? If there was a way that you can utilize her class, I didn't say that word, forget it yet. What I meant to say is, you want to implement that data structure, you want to use her data structure without having to worry about how she implemented it. And wouldn't it be nice if you can have just a function that says set the description like that, and then you pass the description as an argument in a function like that, and then you never actually have to worry how she implemented her grocery item. Wouldn't that be very nice? Wouldn't that be very nice? I think this will be really fantastic if we can hide all these details, if we don't have to worry about the indices of any of these things. And then again, all of this, we're only talking about one specific item, one specific thing that we're dealing with in our program. Suppose now your program has people, has machines, have I don't know, people and the machines, and different kinds of people who are managers, people who are workers. Suppose we also have different kinds of items. So a potato chips item is going to be very different from an item that's a package of coffee K-cups. Those are going to be very different types of items. They might have similar information, but they might have also new information that you did not really embed here. So how do you make use of these things without having to reinvent the wheel? So what I explained to you today in this specific lecture, especially when we talked about wouldn't it be nice to hide all these details, there is something called information hiding. We basically hide the information, hide these details the way you implemented them. We don't care how you implemented them. We were able to hide them, and then we encapsulated them into something here that looks really nice if we can do it. And then we have to interface with this item here in a way that basically encapsulate all the pieces of information as one unit, but still it hides it. So there is another concept called encapsulation like that. And also the other thing that we briefly discussed, we remember when I mentioned here, suppose you have a grocery item that is about potato chips. There are many different kinds of potato chips, and there are also other items that are described to be fresh vegetables. There are different kinds of items to be I don't know, canned products. Different kinds of products that are oils, dairy, bakery, meat. All of these things are grocery items. Some of them will vary significantly in the way you describe it here if you really want to make it in full. So it would be really nice if we can also design like some sort of a base a base description, or a base uh, what's it called, um, a base implementation. I wouldn't be shy. I wanted to walk away from the word implementation, but a base implementation here is not a bad idea. Is not a bad idea. A base implementation for the grocery item, where so I'm going to have a grocery item here, grocery item like that. So I'm going to design a generic grocery item, and then here I will start being creative about bakery items, bakery items that will have very similar description of any grocery item, but they will also be unique on their own way. So who couldn't agree with me on a bakery item like pastry or a cake or a donut or a bagel will be very different from canned beans or canned tomato paste. So they will be canned items. So those guys are going to be very different, but they're still going to be somewhat similar. So what I'm trying to tell you here, that there is also a concept called inheritance as well. So by saying that, these are the most significant things. There are other things. I don't know if we have time to cover all the things that I wanted to cover. This class is not about object oriented. I mean, the course that I'm teaching you guys at the university is not about this is not about object oriented. There are courses specifically designed to teach you object oriented, and I believe you guys do that with C++. Maybe we'll introduce some Java object oriented programming down the road, but for the time being, teaching you Python, because Python now offers a way to do object oriented. So I'm only teaching you object oriented from a Python programming point of view, but there are semesters that you can spend learning object oriented, and it will never be enough. For the time being, you have to remember things such as information hiding, such as encapsulation, such as inheritance, and we are going to cover these things in the next few videos to come. So stay tuned, and let me know if you have any questions. And thanks for watching.